Hey, I'm Derek Hall. Have you ever wondered why gas-powered cars have prevailed for as long as we've ever had cars? Well, the biggest reason by far is because of the energy content of the source. Both gasoline and diesel fuel have huge amounts of energy, far more than any electric battery has ever had. For instance, let's compare the gas and electric versions of the Hyundai Kona. Now, gasoline generally has an energy content of 13,000 watt hours per kilogram, while the battery in this electric version of the vehicle has an energy content of 141.3 watt hours per kilogram. So that comparison is not even remotely close. Now the numbers highlighted in green came from Car and Driver website, and they describe the amount of energy needed for each of these vehicles to go 100 miles. If you consider all this, we figure out that the gas version needs 18.9 pounds of gasoline to go 100 miles, and the electric version needs at least a 421 pound battery to go 100 miles. So that is why we need gasoline vehicles. Now this car's battery weighs over 1,000 pounds, which allows it to get about a 258-mile range. Electric vehicles often have trouble getting good range because there's always a compromise between the weight of the battery and the range of the vehicle. And here's one more example, the gas-powered Ford F-150 versus the electric Ford F-150 called the Lightning. And once again, gasoline is 13,000 watt hours per kilogram. The battery in the Lightning has 137 watt hours per kilogram. Again, that's not even remotely close. Numbers highlighted in green from Car and Driver again. And from all this, we can see that the gas-powered F-150 requires about 30 pounds of gasoline to go 100 miles. And the F-150 Lightning requires at least a 772-pound battery to go that far. So again, not even close. Now this truck's battery weighs about 1,800 pounds, giving the truck a range of about 230 miles. So once again, we have a heavy battery and a short range. That's an inferior design compared to the gas-powered version. Just a few other performance issues with electric vehicles. If you drive fast or you're pulling a heavy load, it can substantially reduce the range of the vehicle. Also, the weight of the battery can cause faster wear and tear on the tires. The battery's max power output can depend somewhat on the state of charge. So as the battery runs down throughout the day, you can experience less power output from the vehicle. And finally, the battery's max charge capacity actually declines gradually over time as the battery undergoes numerous charge cycles. Now I'm going to briefly mention energy costs because some people make a big deal about that. These are the same vehicles discussed earlier using the same energy usage ratings from earlier. Obviously, gas prices are quite volatile these days. Right now, they're very expensive. Back in December 2020, when our energy policy made a lot more sense, it would look more like this. Obviously, charging stations are generally expensive. It's generally very cheap right now to charge at home. Now, one thing almost nobody mentions is that if we do have a massive transition to electric vehicles in the future, and these electric utility prices are going to go sky high because of the huge increase in demand. That's just basic economics. So then it will no longer be cheap to charge your car at home. Also, our electric grid likely wouldn't even be able to handle a transition to electric vehicles because everybody would need to routinely charge their cars. And would roads and bridges really be able to withstand the extra weight of all those vehicles carrying big heavy batteries? That could be a big problem. Also, the supply chain for electric vehicle batteries can be complex and problematic. This map shows that the United States is ranked relatively low in its supply of raw materials needed to make the batteries, and China is ranked number 1. That means the United States will have to rely heavily on other nations to get the raw materials needed to make the batteries. On the other hand, the United States can produce plenty of oil to be energy independent. That's basically a ready-made energy source. It just needs to be extracted and refined. So the push toward electric vehicles makes no rational economic sense from any angle. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know and be on the lookout for my next one. Thanks.